They say the forest hums with birdsong, rustling leaves, insects buzzing, always a background of life. But that morning when I stepped into the trees, there was nothing. No sound. No wind. Just silence so complete it screamed in my ears. It was early October when I returned to Marrow Creek. A place I'd left behind a decade ago, buried beneath therapy sessions and fading nightmares. My grandmother's sudden passing had left me the old cabin at the edge of Black Hollow Forest, a place I swore I'd never return to. The forest loomed like a living wall, pine trunks thick as tombstones, their tops vanishing into a gray sky. The air was cold, biting, with the faint smell of moss, old earth, and something metallic, like rust or blood. The cabin itself looked unchanged. Wooden shingles peeling, porch steps sagging, and the front door still creaked like a dying animal. Inside, dust coated every surface. Her old wind chimes hung in the kitchen window, but they didn't move. Not even when I opened the door. That silence. That impossible silence. I thought it was just the isolation. But that night I started noticing things. First, the dreams. I'd hear my grandmother whispering from the forest edge. Her voice soft, pleading. I'd wake up drenched in sweat, heart racing, only to find my bedroom window wide open. Then I found the journal, tucked beneath a floorboard in her room, wrapped in flannel and bound in cracked leather. Her final entry, dated the night before she died, read, "If you hear the silence too, do not go past the pine circle. They watch from there. They wait." I stared at the words, trying to make sense of them. What pine circle? Who watches? The next day, I ventured deeper into the forest. The silence followed me like a shadow. I never really understood my grandmother. She was half witch, half loner, always speaking in riddles. My mother left when I was 8. Couldn't take the forest talk, she called it. That left me with Gran. She'd raise me on herbs and hushed warnings. Speak to trees like they were people. I used to think it was dementia, but part of me, the part that never truly healed, feared it was something else. Something real. Returning here brought it all back. The nights she'd stand on the porch, murmuring into the dark. The rules. Never leave food uncovered. Never whistle at night. And never, ever go into the woods when the forest goes quiet. I never asked why. I was too scared of the answer. That third night, I found the pine circle. 12 trees, unnaturally bent inward, forming a perfect ring around a hollow. No birds, no animals, nothing lived within. The temperature dropped as I stepped inside. In the center was a stone, a flat, altar-like slab, and on it, a photograph of me. Me at 7 years old, holding my grandmother's hand. The edges were charred. Suddenly, the silence cracked. A whisper not loud, but sharp. "You were meant to stay buried." I spun around. No one. Just shadows shifting between trees. I ran. That night, I called the only person who might believe me, Marcus, my childhood friend and now a local ranger. "You're saying the forest is stalking you?" "I'm saying something is wrong. Gran wrote about it. She was scared, Marcus. She always was. But okay, I'll come by. We'll check it out." He arrived the next morning, hesitant but concerned. As we walked toward the pine circle, he grew quiet. "You hear that?" he asked. I nodded. "No birds. No bugs. Like the forest is holding its breath. It's been like this since the day I got here. This is bad. Really bad." We went back to the circle. The photograph was gone. In its place, a small pile of teeth. Marcus refused to believe they were real, but I could tell. The yellowing, the roots. Some were baby teeth. That night, the forest crept closer. Literally. I heard the trees groan as they leaned toward the cabin. Roots scraped against the foundation. I watched through the window as bark twisted unnaturally like faces pressing from inside. Then I saw her. My grandmother. Standing at the tree line. Pale. Still. Mouth open but no sound. I stumbled back, knocking over a lamp. When I looked again, she was gone. But the silence, it grew louder. Marcus returned with maps, old land records. What he found chilled me. This whole forest used to be a settlement. Late 1800s. People vanished, entire town. No survivors. One account said they angered the woods. Angered? How? There was a ritual. Something about offerings. Sacrifices to the watchers in silence. Sounds like folklore. But your grandmother, maybe she kept them at bay. Suddenly it made sense. The rules. The whispering. The pine circle, a barrier. A lock. And I had broken it. That night, the silence shattered. Screams erupted from the trees, not loud, but inside me. In my bones, the cabin door burst open. Figures entered, twisted, root-covered, eyeless. Not spirits. Not people. Something else. One leaned down, whispering in my grandmother's voice, "You left the door open, child. And now they remember you." I woke up in the pine circle. The stone was gone. So was Marcus. Only the forest remained. I ran. I ran until my lungs tore. Until I reached town. People found me babbling about trees and silence and shadows. They said I'd been missing for 6 days. But last night, as I packed to leave Marrow Creek forever, I heard it again. The wind. The birds. The life in the trees. And then, nothing. The forest went completely silent. And from the window, I saw Marcus, standing at the tree line, smiling.